Welcome to another story made by Oracle One. In the neon-drenched underbelly of New Alexandria, a sprawling megalopolis where shadows had texture and every corner whispered secrets, lived a man known simply as the Recall Man. His work was not the stuff of glamour or headlines, it was the silent art of extraction, removal of memories tangled up in the past, those inconvenient echoes people wished to forget. He was neither a doctor nor a hacker in the traditional sense. His tools were subtle, nano-neurological devices crafted with surgical precision, capable of diving deep into the synaptic webs without leaving a trace beyond absence. Clients came to him cloaked in desperation, bearing fragments of grief, regret, or vengeance too heavy to carry. The Recall Man's promise was clean slates, lids wiped clean of the echoes that gnawed at sanity. And he delivered, until the day the anomaly arrived. The door to his discreet clinic, the kind hidden between holographic storefronts and flickering neon signs, hummed open with a deceptive simplicity. The woman who entered was striking, though not in the way of the city's usual glitterati. Her eyes were sharp, inquisitive, carrying a spark that instantly unsettled the man who had seen countless broken souls. She introduced herself as Mira Tran. Her voice bore the soft confidence of someone who had rehearsed this moment more than once. "I need you to erase something," she said, sliding an image across the desk. It was a digital snapshot, indistinct at first, but as the Recall Man zoomed in, he saw a faded memory of a crowded square, a protest, jagged flashes of violence, and a man whose face was unmistakable. "My husband," she continued, "was there. They told me he was dead. But I have memories, too many memories. I want them gone from my mind." The Recall Man nodded. It was a common story in New Alexandria, a city where political upheaval clashed with corporate dominion, where truth was marshaled and repackaged at will. People paid him not to erase what was true, but what was dangerous to remember. "When do you want to start?" "The sooner, the better. I want to forget everything about that day and him." His procedure began like so many others. The room was sterile but faintly scented with antiseptic and something metallic. She reclined into the chair as nano-implants nestled quietly into her temples. The Recall Man activated his console, monitoring the cascade of neural activity as the devices began unweaving the threads of her memory. Hours passed. The machine hummed at a constant pitch, dipping and soaring as it synchronized with her brainwaves. Yet suddenly, the screen began flashing anomalies, disruptions in patterns where there should have been smooth erasures. The Recall Man frowned. This was not normal. The device should be decoupling memories, but what was being broadcast was far more complicated. He pulled back and checked all systems meticulously. Nothing was malfunctioning. Then he tried to communicate with Mira. "Are you feeling any discomfort?" he asked, his voice a blend of clinical calm and curiosity. She opened her eyes, fixed on him. I can still remember everything, as if nothing changed." "How is that possible?" The Recall Man's mind raced. He adjusted the algorithm parameters to strengthen the erasure protocol. She closed her eyes again, but upon waking, confusion remained. She recalled the day, the man, the infuriating clarity of every painful detail. She was immune, somehow. "Why are you here, really?" he asked, the professionalism in his tone slipping to reveal a rare personal intrigue. Her story spilled out. Her husband had vanished during the protests, declared dead by official accounts. Yet her mind held the entire truth, the secret meetings, the betrayals, the hidden agendas that could topple powerful people. She was labeled delusional, a danger to herself and others. That's why she sought him, not because she wanted to forget, but because she was forced to. But her stubborn recollections resisted eradication. The Recall Man was confronted by a paradox. His creed was to erase memories painlessly. This woman was refusing to be rewritten. She was a living archive of information that those in power wanted suppressed at all costs. This wasn't just about wiping pain, it was about controlling truth. Over the following days, Mira continued her visits, alternately desperate to forget and unwilling to surrender the truths her mind protected. The recall. Man found himself reluctantly drawn into existence she illuminated, a web of political plots, personal losses, and a suppressed revolt. He tweaked every technology at his disposal, every script of nanocode designed to suppress or delete, but Myra's brain continued to resist. Her mind was different. Maybe enhanced by trauma or an unknown genetic anomaly, she had a neural firewall that defied synthetic rewiring. More than a client, she became a problem and a puzzle. On one uneasy night, the facility was breached. Shadows slipped past electronic defenses, armed men with agendas. The recall man found his clinic surrounded, combat drones circling overhead. Myra's information must have made her a target, and by extension, him. As alarms blared, forced to flee, the man had a realization. If Myra's memories were erased forcibly, her mind would break or reboot into an unrecognizable shell. But if left intact, they held explosive power. The recall man broke sanctuary rules, contacting his old networks, black market cyber surgeons, information brokers, and underground chemists. He wanted to help her harness her resilience, transform it from a curse into a weapon. Memory, he realized, was more than data. It was identity, resistance, rebellion. Together, they forged a plan. Mira would amplify her mental shield by integrating biosynthetic implants that interfaced directly with her cerebral cortex, enhancing cognitive resilience and selective recall. It was dangerous, experimental tech he never used on clients before. But they had no choice. The process was agonizing. Layers of implants embedded in her brain, new circuits thrumming with electric life, intertwined with nerve and thought. Her visions, once chaotic splinters of memory, crystallized into tenacious clarity. She stored her truths like encrypted vaults, accessed only on her terms. The recall man watched as she was transformed into a living paradox, a human archive immune to forgetfulness in a world railroaded by erasure. Their alliance became a subtle insurgency. Mira started coaching others who had lost memories or were threatened with erasure, showing them how to build the mental fortresses to hold onto truth. The recall man supplied technology and expertise clandestinely. As weeks turned to months, the city's undercurrents shifted. Stories once silenced began to surface in encrypted whispers across data streams. The powerful pressed harder, dispatching more agents to eliminate this emerging threat. But with every attack, the resilient collective grew stronger. One evening, in the sanctuary beneath the city's twisting cables and fading neon glow, the recall man sat opposite Mira, watching her eyes scan the data flow like a conductor of fragile truth. Somewhere far beyond the steel and rainfall, the city moved unaware of the revolution hidden in memories preserved rather than erased. "I never thought I'd be rooting for memory," he admitted quietly. She smiled, fierce and unwavering. "Forgetting is safe, but remembering is survival." As the distant thunder of authority closed in, they both understood what their fight truly meant. In a world where memories were currency, and forgetting was the order of power, the act of remembering was rebellion itself. For more stories, like and subscribe.